Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Empire Total War with the Imperial Destroyer mod. Last time around, it's actually been almost a week since I recorded an episode, so I can't exactly remember, but I think... now I took this back in between. We had... naval battle? We had the land battle somewhere. Was it up here? I can't remember. We did something. Trying to recap it, but I can't even remember what I need to recap. Anyways, for this episode, we've got the army of Bergström ready to go ahead and attack and take out the Polish, not once and for all, because they'll still have this area of Ukraine left. But we're gonna take the capital, sue for peace with them, and I mean, I could probably go ahead and destroy them completely, but as I move in and take this, I'll open up a border against the Austrians, which are not happy with me because I'm allied with the French, which, as we can see, have taken their capital, and quite a large number of German states as well, and then we'll also kind of contact the Ottoman Empire. Now, the Ottomans we are kind of friends with, just because we have traded with them so much, so should be no problem with the Ottomans. But we could see troops, or the Austrians, they are unfriendly with us. However, the Ottomans are very friendly with us, so that shouldn't really be a problem. Also, that will probably secure our trade a little bit better with the Ottomans, because they could be coming by road then, so we would be able to trade with them this way, since the Ottomans currently hold Hungary. And with all of this said, let's go ahead and strike the Polish, shall we? Let's march in and attack the Poles. Let's see if they will get the reinforcements from town. So there's about 4,400 of them, and there's 4,000 of us. So it's quite even. It is very even. The thing is to destroy as much of this as possible to make sure that not a lot of them are able to retreat back to Warsaw, because we're gonna have to lay siege to that later on. But with that said, let's go, as I always say, straight into battle. And the battle is off. It looks as though the Polish, there's quite a few of them marching here, so we got like a Polish column coming down in between here, and they're gonna march straight into the range of fire of my cannons. They will be ripping them through there. We got lots of cavalry, so we'll be not so keen on moving up, but I basically want to close kind of the gap here in between the artillery and this here village, and then we have our cavalry, which will take a position kind of on this side of said village, and with that should be nice. Then we got more infantry on this side. We got 4 units of infantry, and I want to close the distance in between that forest over there and the cannons. Then we've got 3 here, which I'm thinking possibly could take the high ground over there. Cavalry will close in, stay somewhere there. I've got a unit of grenadiers here behind the cannons, and we are now launching artillery right here at the Polish advance. They've placed 2 howitzers ready to blast us, but we have the upper hand in firing on them first. Let's see if we're able to blast them. It's going to be quite dangerous though, since the howitzers are very deadly. We've got enemy regiment of horse closing in real fast, and I imagine, you know what, the enemy is just concentrating more or less everything trying to get through this gap right here. I'm gonna halt you guys, everyone here except the regiment of horse, which will attack the other regiment. You will hold your fire and then pull back over here, and don't fire the horsemen in the back. And doubtful I'm gonna let these two fire. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put them a little bit more on the side. Ooh, we're taking heavy shots there by their howitzers. Can we go ahead and blow those howitzers to bits already? Got enemy cavalry moving forwards, but they're moving through that very dangerous area, so they're getting blasted to shit. Right, the Polish cavalry... Oh, our cavalry unit is actually breaking apart. I'm gonna pull my cavalry unit back. And as we do that, I'm gonna tell these two to open fire. And I think my hussars are stuck in with those... That's a lancer unit. And as the cavalry is exposed... Boom! They'll ride into our fire. I need to check on the men getting blasted away by the howitzers though. It's not a great angle here where these two are getting absolutely murdered. We want to protect against the cavalry though, which has quite a few enemy cavalry units. Ooh, now I'm kind of stuck not being able to move this one. There we go, it's fired. I want these two rearranging themselves. These guys will hold. What's going on over here? My cavalry units. It's an enemy general. The enemy hussar is actually broken down pretty badly, so we can charge in there. These guys should be able to hold. We're holding on this side. Once the enemy cavalry is defeated, I'll be able to do more maneuvers on this side. Let's go ahead and change these guys so they can shoot in on the cavalry on either side. Once that's done, you know what? There's a bit of a high ground. If you guys could get up there, you can fire into the side here of the 66th enemy regiment. These guys getting shot to pieces. We got a grenadier unit in the forest. Fortunately, I've not been able to push forwards to secure the forest. We got Polish troops advancing across the field. My hussars was able to win. Let's not try to mess anything up over there. We'll stay back here. And as the Polish approach, we'll lock them in place with the forward infantry here. And then once they're stuck in their position, I'll have the hussars swing in around and shoot the enemy in the back. Our lines are holding. This unit is for some reason really well, it's not that surprising that it's concerned with this one, but the fact that they were aiming for that one is a little bit more suspect. Let's see. My light cavalry was able to deal with the enemy, but the thing is they're in the forest there, which I do not like. That's not going to be a good spot to fight the enemy, so we'll pull the infantry back, and the hussars will hopefully be able to break the enemy. And we were able to break that unit, and there's not really that many enemies attacking in this area, so I can pull back the infantry. And what's this? Enemy general moving closer to my hussars, which are about to fire, but will they be able to fire before the enemy lancers strike them in the back? They were able to shoot down quite a few of them. Looks like I'm winning this fight. It's just a general's unit. Pull back and hold this. Seem to be winning on the main front here. And we're winning kind of-ish here, it seems. We need to have enough men so that we're able to go ahead and charge the Polish capital as well. Once we are victorious after this battle, we've got Polish grenadiers, the hussars riding up into the flank, ready to fire on these guys, and we've got full frontal volley coming from this one pretty darn soon. Possibly. Seem to be taking their time. We'll get these guys to just break up a bit, and then the hussars will pass through, and they will just put the Polish here in disarray. Cavalry on this side were broken down, and now we've got quite a bit of cavalry coming into our flank, and we've got enemy units. This one will form square and this one will pull back. We've got kind of an impassable terrain area over there, so hopefully we'll be able to hold. I'll send in the grenadiers to help on that side. Let's see, the hussars can take out the general. Enemy line infantry decides to march forward, and now it's just that regiment of grenadiers. If I turn you guys around, you should be able to send these guys off, and now most of these are sent off. So now I want to plug this hole right here. I'm going to put these two forwards to lock these guys in place. These guys are routing. Plug the enemy, and then why don't you, the general's unit is being sent away. So these two column up onto the hill, and then from the hill, together with the hussars, you will be able to fire down on what's left of the enemy cannons in this region, and the infantry here will be able to deal with the enemy. At the same time, we can see the enemy is now more and more coming through the reinforcements that is coming on this side. So we need to place the troops accordingly. The square is kind of breaking apart, so we'll order that one to retreat. Order it to retreat. I told it to fall back. And falling back they certainly are, just in complete disarray, as Polish line infantry is pushing forwards straight into my fire here. And to make sure that we really kill those guys, we'll pull off to the side and let the grenadiers fire into this. And most of them are sent off. As we can see, there's multiple. Well, there's two grenadiers, one line infantry, and then we've got one line infantry out there. And if I can get my artillery to focus in on that guy instead, we can take a new position with that line. What's this? Regiment of Horse. Why don't you form square, both these units? And then let's see if we can draw lines up on the hill. Have the hussars kill off those Cossacks over there. And they went for my bloody howitzers. The howitzers is going to be very important to taking the town, because I can sort of cheat my way through it by just using the howitzers to blast them away. Cossacks charged in, but looks like I was able to shoot them beforehand, and the unit was kind of destroyed. At this point we'll hold fire, as we've got the 1st Lancer Regiment closing in. There. Give them a good volley. They're still able to attack the regiment, but they didn't get much further than that. Time to put all effort now on defeating those reinforcement units that were coming up. What's in the forest? Go ahead and blast those guys. How have I not been able to destroy the enemy cannons? Also, my howitzers, there's 4 men, so hopefully they were still able to kind-of-ish make it through. Okay, so there's that unit. Now get that one as well. We'll turn the cannons around to face the enemy. And, well, there's no point dealing with the enemy the way I'm doing it right now. So we'll pull these two back. Now being engaged by the enemy. And instead let them come forward and then try to strike them in the back. We'll strike them from the sides. We'll march up quickly to blast the enemy from the side. The hussars will ride up from the back, and we've got the rest of the infantry marching their way towards this area. Keep up the fire, lads. We'll be sure to break the enemy soon enough. You know what? I'm gonna pull back even further and then come back across the hill to hit the enemy, as the enemy will now be pulling towards this area for the fight. Unlimber the cannons. Hussars doing good work, firing into the flank here of the grenadiers, blowing them apart. At this point they've lost interest in this unit, which should give these guys time to reload and then come back in force. The enemy is kinda moving this way, but I think my grenadiers will open fire upon them, while these guys will come from behind the hill, charge up, and then fire on the enemy from the safety of this hill. We'll just make sure that they're ready and set up behind the hill before we go ahead and do that. So there's as few problems as possible. Looks like the enemy is actually moving to deal with them, and as they do that, I can set up the grenadiers to shoot them in the back as they move forwards, and we can bring in another unit to fix that gap. The hussars still here on the flank, firing into the side of the enemy. Should be able to get quite a few kills, and as soon as we can see the enemy come over the hill, we'll fire on them. There is quite a big chance though that they will be able to win this engagement. They are getting attacked by my grenadiers. The enemy has stopped. They fired and they didn't really hit that many of us. Oh, so the enemy I don't want to go too close because there's a risk of us getting destroyed. Come on, just go ahead and fire before they do. Not that devastating. We'll keep fighting here, even though I'm pretty sure our guys will lose. How have I not sent this one off yet? It were grenadiers though, so... There we go, they're broken. And now there's only one enemy unit left. Let's tell the cannons to hold fire, so as to not shoot our own men in the back. And then these three units will move in. Ah, the enemy is broke. We are victorious. Seems I lost most of the cavalry, but that doesn't matter because I'm going to attack a town after this. And let's just make sure that we kill as many of the enemy as possible. I still have quite a sizable force left. Hopefully the howitzers will survive. with that said, let's go ahead and jump back to the campaign map and see where the enemy goes as they retreat. Will they retreat back to the capital, or will they go somewhere else? Normally, I believe in like Napoleon and stuff, they always try to go towards like a safe spot like the capital, but in Empire they usually just run as far away as possible. So they just scatter as far away as possible, which I imagine they're gonna do in this one as well. And here we have the statistics of the battles. I lost about half my army. The enemy lost about all of its army, really. Only 640 of them survive. All my units survive, which is good. Even the howitzer survive, but I probably only have a single howitzer cannon to work with. Highest kills, line infantry and hussars. Very good. Let's see where the enemy retreats. Looks like he's not actually turning towards the capital, but instead he's going to set up in the church. We were able to then we're able to go straight onto this. I wanted to see if I can get my spy. Oh, they have a full stack over here. And a full stack over here. But I think once I take the capital, I should be able to sue for peace with Poland, and they will probably accept it. And that should be quite good. Let's continue the siege there. I don't think there's any other movements I can make, so it looks like we're going to end turn. This one, I'm pretty sure this is an outer assault, just charging down this army. The only thing that could change here is how much land they're able to loot. Navy on its way. I don't think there is an enemy navy there though. But there was the plan to move. Oh yes, we had the siege, possible siege defense of Karelia. So we'll see how that goes. I'm contemplating, because the enemy could possibly just go ahead and attack these guys, and in so dragging this force in. So we're actually going to go ahead and delete these, disband them, and you know what? I don't think we need the rest of these actually. So we'll go ahead and take those away, and now there's no risk of them sort of attacking something here, dragging out the army from the fort, and then that way destroying it without it being placed in a secure location. Anyways, with this said, let's go ahead and no, not actually end turn, because we need to take the town. But I think I'll do that mostly off camera. I'll show you guys a bit of the end of this. But we'll a little bit of this, and then see what happened at the end turn, shall we? And here we are for the final stages of this siege. And for once, I've actually taken the time to break a hole through the enemy wall. Although, as you can see by the time here, I've played this siege for about 40 minutes, but I was able to achieve quite a bit of slaughter in that time. Mostly, this is just the work of the howitzer. And then the cannons have been bombarding away at this part of the wall for I don't know how long. Currently they are not firing, but my plan was very simple: to break the wall right here, and in so doing cut these off from quickly being able to lend support to this side of the wall, which at this point I hope to take quite soon. I've put the grenadiers over here to go ahead and deal with the guys holding on this side, which there's not a lot of them. There's less than 50 men right there. So I could possibly have the cavalry just storm through. On the wall we have 11 guys on that side, while we have more or less a full regiment on this side, which could be a good target for the howitzer. While the cannons firing round shot probably should focus in on this one. And this one. But I think once I actually claim this wall, should be able to just win this rather easily. Most of the enemy here is being destroyed, so I can use my small units of cavalry, tell the hussars. Good, I've already told them to hold their fire, as to not shoot their own troops. We'll send the hussars forward first. Put the grenadiers as a bit forwards. And then it's time for the hussars to ride up. Fire up close. Okay, so I'm not entirely sure what they fired at, but clearly it was not the enemy unit that's streaming out of the fort. And with that, we'll tell the grenadiers to open fire on those troops. Since they're outside the fort... Ooh, everyone but 35 of those 100 men were killed off. That leaves only a smaller unit of 5 men holding the inside of the castle at this point. Let's see if we can charge in. We need to take the wall. So go ahead and claim the wall. And then this regiment, which I think is my largest one, can go ahead and join in on this attack in towards the fort. Let's get the hussars, or really the cavalry. Oh shit, the grenadiers. Let's not have the grenadiers get destroyed by this larger regiment. Let's see, they might follow the grenadiers out, in which case the larger regiment could shoot them all down. And at this point I am slowly claiming the wall. Have the howitzer concentrate over there. We'll put the normal cavalry over there to keep holding down the point. Okay, so the enemy is shattered and is running away. And so I don't really need to climb the wall, because at this point I have already won. Let's hold fire. The only thing we'll do is we'll put the grenadiers firing this way. And the enemy's walls are mine, and at this point they have all given up, and Warsaw is mine. Victory has been achieved, and the Swedish flag now flies over the old city of Warsaw. The Poles have been defeated. And here we have the statistics of that battle. I managed to kill an astonishingly 4,000 enemy militia, while only losing 164 men. I guess the howitzers did most of these, yes. A crew of 6 men with 1 howitzer managed to kill 1,542 men. The only one who got even close to that was the grenadier unit, which managed to get 362. And with that, the capital of Poland falls. And for once, I actually get to hold one of these specific buildings for a specific region. I don't think we have, even though I've taken quite a few capitals. So I've taken Kurland, kind of a capital. I've taken Moscow, although Moscow isn't that. They start off as their capital, but they switch over to this, and they never really got to build anything, so I guess that doesn't count. But now we've got the Linsky Park, Stanislav II, Grand Duke, something, garden, also magnificent, setting for regular dinner parties, and so forth. Very unhappy, of course. They're not happy with being controlled by Protestants. And then there's a clamor of reform because there's schools And then resistance to foreign occupation amounts to 30 points. Normally the aristocracy doesn't really care when you take province over, but even now you can see that there's an unhappiness of -3. The aristocracy really doesn't normally give a crap, do they? I mean, compared, they're still as unhappy, but they like the government type compared to with the populace. They like people in government. And I guess that's a big difference, because we got 9 points for the government. Well, that's still only 11 points, so there's still a lot more. Is it clamor for reform? I'm not entirely sure. People in government. Oh, well, there's an extra negative for 3 there, so it kind of adds up, doesn't it? With that, let's go ahead and see. I'm pretty sure Poland will, once losing such territories, will go ahead and accept the white peace offer, which is, in fact, rather stupid. Let's see if the Austrians want to trade. No, 1,000 times no! You, are you a Magyar thief, or think that the Empire will accept Magyar? Isn't that the Hungarians? No wonder they lost Hungary then. So they kind of silly enough agreed to that. I mean, I guess because they've lost a lot of territory, they lost most of Poland, but agreeing to peace when you've got these 2 standing armies right here, they're gonna suffer a lot trying to... I wonder, who are they trading with? Poland is trading with the Hetman Ottoman Empire and Moldavia. So they're probably not making a lot of money, and they have 2 very sizable armies, which they could have used to attack and retake their capital, but no! Instead, what they go ahead and do is they let me hold it. First things first, as I've taken over this territory, is burn the church. We need to turn the populace Protestant, which will take quite a bit of time. I wish I could force their bloody priests out of my territory, because there's quite a lot of them. And they're stinking up the area with their Catholic ways. But I guess once they suffer a bit more from bankruptcy and stuff, and not being able to replenish their armies, and I'm being able to replenish my army, we'll have a second go at them and destroy them completely and get all these Catholic priests out of my territory, which now amounts to 4 of them. And then I've got pretty good gentlemen right there. Let's see. Krakow, what will you research? Is there anything that even remotely chance? 22. That's not too bad. So that's the best I can do, 22. Right, I think we're gonna go ahead and end it here. I think this one, pretty much an out-resolve. For next episode, I think we're looking at the Prussians. I might go ahead and advance quite a bit on the Prussians. Take Königsberg, take Western Prussia, out-resolve that, take that. And then might start off next one with Siege of Karelia, or fighting the Polish again. But with that said, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye!